Coming direct from the 404, 678, and 770 area codes. It's entertainment, details, and more right here on the Exquisite Sounds Podcast with your host, DJ and entertainment virtuoso, DJ Toryn L.
All right. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, hey, welcome to a new edition of the Exquisite Sounds Podcast. It is your host, none other than myself. My friends call me Toryn. You guys can feel free to do the same. Again, I go by many names, but DJ Toryn, just Toryn, hey, that DJ in the corner, or hey, Mr. Exquisite. But it is great to be here today. Listen, I have one of my all-time favorite people, okay? I've been doing this. I've been in the industry now for, 13, 14 years. I do not know exactly how long I've known this gentleman. It has to be at least 7 years.
Yeah.
I think I've known you before I had my oldest daughter, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like, not too long after I got married. But listen, right here, welcome to the show right now. Again, one of my favorite people, South Carolina's very own, everybody. If you will, put your hands together right now for Mr. Russell Wendell, everybody. Come on, there it is.
That was a heck of an intro.
Hey, man.
My
Nothing
God.
but the best for you, my guy. Nothing but the best.
Oh, my God. What a wonderful intro. Well, thank you so much for that, Toryn. And it's such a pleasure to be here.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day. So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, man. So we've got Russell on today. Again, like I mentioned, Russell, you are born and raised in South Carolina?
Born and raised in South Carolina.
Small
country, rural town, South Carolina. Literally a population of less than 1,000 people in my hometown.
Wow, really? What refresh me. What hometown is that?
It's called Santee, South Carolina.
I've never heard of that. Okay.
Yeah. We made our own sausage.
Like your family?
We made our own relish and pickles. Like we pickled vegetables and we made our own.
All right. So humble beginnings, right? Is that your okay? All right. Hey, you know what? It's all good, man. It's all good. I got it. Well, check it. Again, welcome to the show. I've been brought to understand that, this is your very first podcast, right?
Yes.
So again, congratulations. I feel very honored for you to be on our podcast and be here to share a little bit of your story, man. So
I'm honored.
Yeah, man. I really want to dive into, for the people that don't know Russell. I know I go places in town and like people ask me, hey, do you know a planner? Or do you know somebody who can do this? And I'll be like, yo, don't you know Russell? And they'll be like, who's Russell? And I'll be like, you don't know Russell? So I just want to take this time today and give you this format for us to dive a little bit more into everything that is Russell, everything that you have going on, how you got here. And then, I want to segue from there into, we were kind of talking before the show kicked off. I want to start talking a little bit about weddings in 2023 and events, because you don't just do weddings, you do events. I've done corporate events for you. You've blessed me with some really good stuff in the past. So thank you, sir. And then also how we think 2024 is going to shape up. You know what I mean? But first, I'd love to dive back a little bit into how you came from pickling relish to being where you are today, man. So what's the backstory? I know you South Carolina State.
South Carolina State University, proud Bulldog. I bleed garnet and blue. And believe it or not, my major was accounting.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. I graduated with a Bachelor of Science in accounting and had awesome opportunities in the field. I mean, I worked with some Fortune 500 companies. I worked for the federal government, a few agencies with the federal government. And as dope as those opportunities were, I was never happy. I was like, oh, this job sucks. Oh, this job sucks. And then after like my 5th and 6th job, I was like, oh, it's not the job, it's me. I suck. I don't need to be doing this. I don't enjoy this. This does not fulfill me. And it was really completely random. I say it's divine because I really can't explain it. But literally one morning, I was like, you know what? I want to go into event planning and design. Okay. That's literally how it happened. It was no rhyme or reason. I dabbled a little bit here and there, when the office was having a function. I'm like, okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
But it was nothing planned at all. So I literally, at that point in time, I had a job that moved me here to Atlanta.
Okay.
And after 2 months of working there and leaving, I was like, I think I want to stay in Atlanta, and I think I want to give it a shot and explore something new.
Okay.
And I Googled event planning companies here in Atlanta, and I emailed a few and, had a few conversations. And then I eventually went on to become an intern with the amazing Jillian Smith with One Touch Events.
Okay.
And from there, that's kind of how it all happened. She is my industry mother. She taught me pretty much all of the foundation. And, I continued to network and build from there. I was, going from an accountant salary to pretty much being an intern is a major drop.
Major. Yeah. It's huge.
Those finances are they don't align. So, I was hustling, just being honest. I was hustling out here. I had 5 jobs plus 2 more. Yeah. And one of those other jobs included me also being a shutter booth host. Right. So Berlin, shout outs to Berlin as well. Taught me a lot. And every time I would go to an event, I would fall in love with what I saw.
Okay.
I want to do this. I want to do it. I want to do it. Eventually went on to actually be a contract planner with Google. Okay. And went on to also after that go into venue sales.
Okay.
Sales. And that was phenomenal. And it really birthed a new love there. I really, really, really enjoy being a part of the venue process. And, in 2020, I decided, I want to kind of just take that chance on me. I want to just do things my own way. And that's what happened. Who knew that an entire pandemic was right around the corner?
Yeah. Right, exactly. Yeah.
But even with that, things still turned out so great. I had some of my best moments, I think, so far in 2020. And it's just been up and up from there.
Okay. All right, cool. That's what's up, man. That's a lot in a short amount of time, man. That's a lot in a short amount of time. Now, so Russell, I know you said 2020, you bet on you. So 2020 was the formation of your company or what?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Got it. Tell us about it. Like, how'd you come up with the essence of that? Like, what's your purpose there? Like with your own company?
Great question. Oh, I love that question. So I knew that I didn't want to come up with, as I was thinking about, going and creating this entity, I knew that it was a reflection of me and what I wanted. So that's why I decided to name it Russell Wendell Events. It's really me. It's what I'm passionate about. It's what I love to do. I felt like putting my name on it was giving it the ultimate stamp of approval. Oh, now, it is my first name and middle name. People don't often know that. People think Wendell is my last name. But yeah, it's my first and middle name. And I felt like, I wanted to have something that I would be so proud of. I could give my name to it.
Is Wendell a family name?
So actually, yes, my dad's first and middle name is Russell Wendell as well.
Oh, okay.
So let's go into this whole little name thing because it's really Russell Wendell.
Oh, okay. I see you now. Okay.
My dad, in his own way, is very extra as well. And sometimes he would introduce himself. He'd be like, "Yeah, I'm Russell Wendell."
Yeah.
I like that. I think I'm gonna do that when I get older too.
Yeah, nah.
That's just kind of how it happened.
Okay, I would have never known, man. I would have never known. I just assumed that was it. You know what I mean? You kind of a fancy guy, so I just figured that good works. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got you. That's what's up.
But no, that's how it all happened. That's how it all happened. And from there, I knew that I wanted to create magical moments. I knew that I wanted to allow people to really exist within a fantasy world, if nothing for a few hours, regardless of the type of celebration, whether it's a wedding, whether it's a milestone birthday party, a gender reveal or a baby shower, a family reunion, corporate events. I knew that I wanted to create moments where people go, wow.
Well, that's what's up, man. Well, let me ask you this, right? So, we've all kind of made it through COVID. We've all, I think something that you and I share is that obviously we came into the events industry from another line of business. You know what I mean? Like, I tell people all the time, I worked in corporate IT for like 20 years almost, you know what I'm saying? So to leave that comfort and scene to, fully jumping into like the event space as a DJ, man, you talk about creating these moments for people, right? But I'm curious, like when you got that new client and you're talking to them about their, their vision and, like, walk us through, like, what is it that like you're gathering from them to kind of see like, hey, this is the vision and this is how I'm going to get them to like that end result? Because I think that I know from my standpoint, like, and I'm saying this fresh off a consultation today where I spoke with a young lady who had not yet hired a planner. All she had was her venue, and she knew she needed a DJ and some lights, and she wanted the smoke. You know what I'm saying? She wanted the smoke.
Dance in the smoke. I love
the smoke, Russell.
She has a vision. She has a vision.
You know, she has that vision, but then I'm like, well, listen, like, what's the rest of the vision here? You know what I'm saying? You know, because we can fit, but like, what's the rest of it? So like, man, I'd love to just know from like your perspective. A lot of times I feel like we talk to like planners and they're women. So to kind of hear a man's perspective, because like I can't put that together. You know, I put together a suit, but I don't know if I can put together an event. So walk me through it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first, and this has been a hard lesson to learn, but a valuable one that I'll never forget. For me, it starts with the consultation, understanding what their vision is, you know, how they operate. Will they both be involved? If it's a couple, how do they interact with each other? I've had some couples that are really great with communicating together, deliberating together, coming to an agreement, and then deliberating that to me. And then I have some that are, you know, it's been toxic, or where they, you know, I'm like, ooh, let's get a premarital counselor on the call, you know?
Yeah, I got you.
You know, so, you know, just identifying all of these different characteristics and personalities, seeing whether their style aligns with mine.
What do you mean by style?
When I approach an event, I'm no longer just looking just to say, okay, well, yeah, we'll just have a tall flower here, a few candles here, and we'll throw this table there. And it is personal to me. I want to tap into who you all are, and from gathering that information, be able to create something that is custom and unique, tailored to that couple specifically. And to me, that's when you have those magical moments. Those are the moments that make your wedding shine. Those are the moments that people will then walk away saying, oh, that was really cool. I'm not the person that is, oh, just show me your Pinterest board.
Right. Okay.
Or when people want me to replicate designs, and it's like, you know what? And a lot of times it's even my own work. They're like, I want this. And I'm like, I love that you want this. Let's dive a little deeper, because maybe we can create something for you where other people now say, I want what you have.
Yeah.
It's not a cookie cutter experience for me at all. And just understanding truly what their goals are. You can learn really quickly if someone has a grasp of what reality is versus
versus just grabbing it out the sky or off the internet and being like, oh, it costs this much. And it's like,
absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. It's the same way that I think some doctors or those in the medical field may feel about Googling symptoms and how people may self-diagnose. It's the same thing. It's like, oh, well, I know that the average wedding in America is da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. And this article you got this from is from what, 2009?
Right, 2017.
Or it just doesn't align with what you're expressing that you want. So, you know, just making sure that I evaluate all of that. That's a part of the process, because it is a mutual agreement. I need to want to work with you. You need to want to work with me.
Okay. So it is kind of a selection process on your side too. So let me ask you a question, man. I mean, we've all done it, but have you ever told a client like, hey, like, or a potential client, no? Just because like they weren't not because their budget maybe wasn't aligned or anything, but just because maybe that their vision or like what they kind of wanted, what you kind of do didn't really match up, maybe?
Yes.
Well, I get no details. I'm just curious. Okay. All right.
I have said yes. And I've said, you know what? I didn't quite word it that way, to be honest. I didn't say, hey, you know, we're not aligned, But it was very clear signs to me like, ooh, this is going to be a problem. Step away.
Okay.
See the red lights. And honestly, I've just learned that lesson. Also, after not having truly a selection process, thinking that they are to choose me, when it really we're choosing each other.
Yeah, it's like dating. It's like dating, man. It's like dating.
Absolutely. It really is. So I've learned, like, okay, you know what? These are the type of atmospheres that I want to work in.
Right.
These are the kind of conditions that I want to work in. You know, this is the type of experience that I want to create. You know, if someone's looking for this type of experience, we may not be aligned, you know. So I've had moments where I've had to say, unfortunately, I'm not available to execute your vision.
Yeah.
But here's a list of planners that you can contact, and they may be available for you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you are in the number of at least giving out some other references then.
Oh, absolutely.
Really? Okay. All right. You're pretty good, man. I stopped doing that, but that's what's up. Yeah.
Now, a lot of times if I'm saying no to someone because I see them being a problem for me, I'm simply giving you the names. I'm not contacting that planner. Like, that is for them to weed out and see if it's a good fit for them. But if it's genuine, like if I have a date that's booked and this would have been an ideal client for me and they would be incredible, I definitely will give that planner a heads up, like, hey, this bride, this groom, this couple is amazing.
Right. Yeah, I got you.
Definitely reach out to them. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. That's what's up, man. Well, look, I know before we started today, we were actually just talking about 2023, right? Yes. And starting to scratch the surface on 2024. And I know that, again, you know, starting a company in 2020, making it through like the pandemic, being here now. Congratulations to anybody that made it through that, right? So I know you said you had a couple of, you know, kind of big things on the calendar this year, some out of town stuff, you know, so forth. Man, where you headed?
Well, you know, we're gonna visit Texas a little bit. You know, we'll go to Houston. We have a wedding coming up there. We're going to Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be fun.
Now, I feel like this is not your first wedding in Jamaica.
Well, technically, you're correct. I planned a wedding that was going to take place in Jamaica, but it got cut short by the pandemic.
Okay.
Like, it was going to be in Montego Bay. It was going to be amazing. It was technically going to be the very first wedding that I had under Russell Wendell Events.
Okay.
And we started planning that at the end of February and was moving very aggressively.
So let's do this, right? So I've been wanting to have a conversation for a little time now with somebody, especially on the planning side, about planning an international wedding, right? So, you know, within this past 6 months, I guess I've done a couple. I've also booked a few other ones. But again, I just have the DJ perspective, right? You know, so I've done Jamaica. I've done Jamaica from a weddings perspective. Just from the planner perspective, like how do you approach that as a planner? How do you get your couple from Houston or South Carolina, in addition to their family, in addition to the right vendors, not saying they got to be from the States or they can be from Jamaica or Italy or wherever they're from, but just selecting vendors, dealing with lodging. I'm going to toss something else in, dealing with attitude and people, because that comes with it. Yes. And that's what I've seen most often. Walk me through that real quick. Like, how are you, because you're in the midst of it. So how are you handling all that?
Yeah. So first is making sure that people understand it's all about understanding in every process.
Okay.
And just laying it all out there. So making sure that they understand what comes with a destination wedding experience. So I think it's important for people to know that it does not necessarily mean cheaper. In fact, it means a lot of times the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of people automatically think, oh, I can go to Jamaica or Mexico and just and you possibly can. When you come to me with the vision that you're saying that you want, seeing my portfolio, we're not looking to do the cookie cutter experiences. So we're not just going to give you a list of resorts and say, choose a time slot and have your wedding there. We're curating experiences. So when we go to Jamaica, you know, I don't have any destination wedding that is taking place on a resort, or all-inclusive resort.
Okay.
We're having an authentic experience that's catered to that location.
Nice.
So cuisine is going to be different because we get to source that privately.
Right. Yeah.
You know, we get to maybe have a DJ, but also bring in maybe steel drums
Right.
things like that. The details matter. So, having our emblem or monogram in coconuts or different things like that, fire twirlers, all of these different things that can bring in the culture and flavor of that particular location we talk about. When it comes to the travel component, something else that can be very, very important is understanding that if people are traveling for your wedding, it's not just the wedding experience. The experience starts pretty much as soon as they land. Some would say before, before when they're arriving to the airport, so, making sure that all of that experience is one that's well curated. What is that? Can we go and create a cool transportation system from the airport to their lodging? Like, what does that all look like? What does the welcome party experience look like? Do we have a brunch the day after or an event the day after? Because again, a lot of times when people are traveling to a destination, they're there for multiple days. So what does all that look like? Traveling, things just have to be done so much earlier, so it's not a situation of maybe sending the save the date, almost a year out with the invitation coming, maybe 3 to 4 months prior to. Like, we want to make sure we build out a system where people can easily book their accommodations, things of that nature, just making sure that everything is seamless. It can be a lot more, but it can really be a cool experience.
Got it. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've seen, even from like again, I've seen it from both sides, because I've seen it where like, hey, so-and-so's getting married in the family or your friend group, and we're doing, destination. And so we're just going as guests. But I've also seen it from a perspective of like, hey, I've been hired as a vendor, and now I'm trying to get on board to, do my services. And, with DJs, it's a little different, especially once we go outside the States, because now we've got to source potentially everything we need, and depending on where you're going, there could be different power conditions, you know what I'm saying? So, do you have the right chargers for your laptops, just all kinds of stuff, and just who you're working with, like, and what kind of gear are they using? Because like I did a wedding last year where like I couldn't tell you what any of the gear was. Like, I could tell you what the main controller was because obviously it was the one I specifically ordered, but like I couldn't tell you what those speakers were. I could not tell you.
I mean, electrical outlets are different.
Yeah.
In countries like, absolutely. Language barriers, all of those different things can really, really play into the wedding experience. So the research has to be thorough.
The thing that was shocking for me, or has been most shocking for me, especially when working with some of the resorts, are the resort fees when you bring in outside people.
Yes.
And that's the thing that's like absolutely hilarious to me. I mean, like absorbent fees, like
$5,000 fees.
Not quite that much, but I'm definitely. I mean, but I could see if you were bringing in like catering and they were like, oh, it's 5,000. Like I could see that, but it cost me 500 just to bring DJs on a resort. Not even DJs. It cost me 500 just to get the equipment on the resort. And this is after I got there that I find this out. So you have to be prepared.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right. So you have to know all those like little hidden costs. Not every resort is like that,
Most are.
Yeah. So
I will say that there are a lot of resorts that have those ridiculously high fees for, in my opinion, no purpose. But I understand why they have them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all politics, right? Yep. They want you to go with their preferred DJ, their preferred florist, their preferred photographer, videographer, because they're likely getting a kickback.
Oh yeah, for 100%. I mean, they're doing just like some places do here, where it's like, hey, it's it's $200 a month to be a vendor, or whatever the scenario is. $1,000 a year, whatever it is. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely,
man. For sure.
Absolutely.
So look, we're gonna fast forward just a little bit, right? So walk me through, man. So we're into 2023, and we hear different things based on different parts of the country. How's your 2023 going? Coming along? What?
It is coming along.
Cool.
I'm excited about 2023.
And I think you were saying for you, wedding season is just about to kind of kick in.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And it is kicking in. Yes.
That's what's up. Are you seeing any, like, because you do kind of the planning side and design, are you seeing any kind of like trends for like later this year or earlier into next year that like, may be different than what we've seen?
I feel like I'm experiencing what is, I would say, an absence of color.
Okay.
So I'm seeing a lot of people kind of go with the
Black and white,
the blacks, the whites, the nudes. I feel like a lot of people are going to what they believe is going to deliver a classic, timeless, sophisticated look, which I think is great.
Yeah.
I have no problems with that. Yeah. I will say the risky daredevil designer in me, I'm not afraid of color. Color is impactful. Color can make a statement. So a lot of times, one of the first questions that I'll ask of a couple when we're talking about what their vision is, I'll say, describe your wedding to me. I've had some couples say, I want it to be dark, moody, and sultry. That creates a vision in my head. So I see a color, I see fabrics, I see a vision. I hear the sounds. I can literally see a vision. So a lot of times I won't ask them what their colors are, their desired colors are, because I want to hear what they want their wedding to feel like and then be able to possibly present them something that may not be based upon some colors that were pre-selected that may honestly have nothing to do with what they're looking to foster as a feel.
Okay.
But with all that said, I definitely feel like that's been a trend. I feel like I'm seeing a lot of news and I'm excited about it. I'm always here for unique moments, but I'm here for also creating moments that will stand the test of time.
I think kind of classic moments.
I think we've all kind of seen, those gimmicks or those trendy moments, and it's like 2 years later, that didn't age too well.
I got you. I think my last couple of weddings that I've done personally, I've definitely seen a lot of color, and it like more color than like a lot more color. Like, and you're just like, wow. So I mean, I've enjoyed it. Like, honestly, I mean, my last two weddings in particular, like they were like orange roses, like everywhere, like orange and yellow roses, and like. I had my first bounce house. You know what I'm saying? Like
at the wedding?
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, and they had all these.
Will not forget that wedding.
Yeah, like they had all these like colorful balloons inside the wedding. I mean, inside the bounce house. Like it was dope, man. It was pretty dope. But I'm with you, man. I mean, I like classic, like black and white. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But I also love a lot of color. Like I love a lot of color.
Love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Color is really cool. You can really express a lot through color.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. I'm gonna kind of bring us towards landing the plane right here. But check it out, man. So, I know you obviously do a lot of weddings in the space, do corporate, some social stuff, because I think I've seen you do some baby showers and gender reveal. I feel like I might have saw you do,
I do a little birthday party here.
Party. Yeah, you did a house birthday party a couple weeks ago. I seen on Instagram the thing. Like, he was jumping. I was like, man, wow, the bankhead violinist was there. I was like, man, where was I at? Where's my invite?
You know what? What's crazy is that in 2022, I actually had where this young lady, her partner was turning 40. She wanted to do a really nice dinner in the house, and she just wanted it to feel like a complete transition.
Yeah.
And we literally came in, cleared out the dining room area, took all the furniture away, draped it, created a ceiling full of balloons, created an estate table, brought the chairs in, everything. And it was amazing. It was like, it went crazy online. And since then, I get a lot of inquiries about, hey, can you do this in my house? Can you switch this up? Can you do that? Yeah. So the one that you're talking about, I feel like that was like the all paint birthday party. And yeah, they had a phenomenal time in there. They were tearing it up.
That's what's up, man. It looked like a good time, man. I was just like, yo, this looks like a good time.
We're all about the vibe. We're going to curate a vibe for
that's
sure.
What's up, man. That's what's up. Here's how I'd love to end this, man. I love for you to obviously share, how people can get a hold of you, right? But if you had to give like just a couple of tips to prospective, client, just 2 or 3, what would they be? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I feel like not that events now are any different than they have been, but to a degree they are, right? How would you approach it, man? What would be your, any advice that you might leave somebody with?
Okay.
And I'll start you off. Like for me, when I meet people, when my kids introduce me as this DJ Toryn L.
I love it.
Because that's what they do now, apparently.
I love it.
It's like an inside joke at my house.
I'm here for it.
And people ask me like, hey, what do you do? Whatever. And then they ask you that and you tell them, then like, oh, I'm having something. And you're like, well, listen, like first thing I say is get a planner. That's the first thing I say. Is like, yo, get a planner, man. Before you talk to anybody about music or talk to me about lights or any of that, man, get a planner. Like, and ideally get a skilled planner. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, man. What do you think?
So I'll give some like factual, hey, do this type of situations, and then I give some that are maybe more aligned with, the feels. But I definitely say, hey, write out your guest list. Like, you think you have a guest count in mind, but you really need to put the pen to paper and write out everyone, because I promise you, the number that you all are thinking of, you forgot somebody. Yeah. So, get that list. See if mom, dad, parents need to contribute. Make sure you're factoring all of that. That really helps to understand, the scope of how to create a projected budget. That helps to understand what size venue that you should even be considering. I usually like for people to have that done so that we can consider venues that are most appropriate. So that's one of the first steps. I would dare say also, you may not have a budget. You may not know how much you want to spend. However, you know how much you can spend.
That's a good point though, man. That's a good point. That's a good point.
You may not know how much things cost. That's completely fair. You've never planned a wedding or a celebration before. That's totally fine. However, you know what you can afford and you know how much you're willing to put out. So when someone says, hey, what's your budget? Like, I don't know how much things cost. How much can you afford?
Yeah. How much you got? How much you got? Yeah.
How much do you have?
Yeah.
Is $60,000 pushing it? Is $160,000 pushing it? Is it $6,000? You have a threshold. You do. And even if you indicate the threshold, that still doesn't mean that you have to spend all of it. Yeah. But it's important to have those conversations and be transparent about what it is that you can do. Absolutely.
So let me ask this question, right? And again, I'm gonna let you get back to it. But why do you think people are uncomfortable telling you or sharing what their budget is? Do you think that it's not knowing, or do you think it's just sometimes think that they're gonna gain something by not being transparent, just saying like, hey, my overall is 50,000 or, or 15,000 or 500,000, whatever it is. Like, what makes you think, just, as on the planner side, what do you think about that?
I think that it's a lot. I think it can be a lot of different things.
Okay.
But I think that a lot of it is maybe trust. Like,
okay. That's a good response.
I don't know, like, is this person going to possibly take advantage of how much I say that I can afford or that I'm willing to spend? Let me lowball and let me see if, what they can do with this. I think it's so many different possible reasons. I think money naturally makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah, it does. It does, for sure.
It really does. And the truth is, you just gotta be transparent. You just gotta throw it out there and let it be. Because I'm not interested in wasting anybody's time. I've been very transparent to say, you know what, this won't work. I don't want to waste your time. There's somebody it will work for. It's just not working over here.
Oh man, okay, I got you.
Also, there are times when I can also be creative.
Yeah.
So I sometimes budget can a lot of times people sometimes may have specific wants, but they have a specific budget and they don't align. And it's like, hey, this budget could work, but maybe we have to remix it, flip it, turn it, flop, pop, and come up with a unique experience.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't look like we're aiming for something, but we're missing the mark.
Got it. Yeah.
And so it's some of those things. And also that's where guest count matters too, because you can I'll much rather take a $50,000 budget with 10 people than to have $100,000 budget with 700 people, So that's where seeing that guest count really does matter. I just think it's a lot. I think they feel like we're like at a car dealership and you have to like lowball. And it's like, no, I'm your advocate.
Right. I think that's the thing is like, like, I'm not here to like take advantage of you. I'm literally trying to find out what like you're saying, I'm trying to find out what your vision is.
Right.
Based on the services that you're seeking from us. And do we meet in the middle, or are we, we're not gonna charge you extra just because you tell us you got extra.
Right.
Yeah. you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I can't give you what you can't pay for. You know what I'm saying? Like,
correct.
Correct. It's a tough one. So yeah.
And I mean, there are planners that do different things in different ways. Mm-hmm. So it's some people will say, hey, okay, you provide the entire budget to me and I handle the sourcing of all your vendors. So there's so many different ways that people go about the planning process.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of possibilities as far as why people may not do some of the things they do. But something else that I would advise people to do is to enjoy the moment. Yeah. Enjoy the engagement. Typically, the engagement is the shortest period of time in the relationship. You've been dating and courting each other all this time. And then boom, you're engaged. And a lot of times that's a period that may last between 1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
And then you're married forever.
Right. Yeah.
So it's such a unique period of time.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Go to the bridal shows.
Yeah, that's a really great point.
Have all of the bridal showers. Go on all of the bachelorette trips. Go on the bachelor trips. Enjoy it. Don't get too stressed. Don't let the wedding planning process swallow you or consume you. Have fun. This is a unique period of time. Show off your ring. Tell everybody you're a fiance. See if you can get a free drink or an appetizer or something. I don't know. Just enjoy it. Bask in being a fiance. That's what I would also recommend. It should not be stressful. It should not be totally consumed with being, a bride and getting to the wedding day.
Yeah. No, man, that's a really great point. I've never had anybody, I've never looked at that. Like, honestly, like, I guess that's probably something I've always just kind of taken for granted, you know what I'm saying? Even having, haven't been married myself, but yeah, you're right. I mean, one of our shorter times, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it was just kind of like, boom, like now we're married and here we are, all these years later, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you're right, man. You're right. I see, we see it so often, it's just like, they're just like stressed out and you're just like, yo, like, it's going to be okay. Like, it's going to be okay.
It's going to be just fine.
It's going to be okay. So, yeah, man, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Well, man, Russell, listen, man, it has been great. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate you, being on with us. I definitely appreciate you letting us be your, your first podcast experience. I'm sure this is probably the first of many for you. As I always tell people, my wife and I always say Russell is like a rising star here in the scene.
I love her. I love her.
Yeah, man, she's amazing. She's definitely a fan of yours.
Hey.
But man, tell the people how they can get in touch with you, man. Like, I'm sure you're all over social and TikTok and all that good stuff. But tell us how we can get a hold of you, man. Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely always go to my website. It is www.russellwendell, RussellWendell.com. A lot
And
of
I feel
L's.
a lot of L's. Oh my gosh, it's 4. It's a lot. You can always inquire there, contact me there. But yeah, you're more than welcome to also follow me on social media. Check me out on Instagram. It is at russell.wendell. And my take isn't quite talking, I'm trying. It's a lot to keep up with. My gosh.
It is a lot to keep up with, man.
It is. I'm on TikTok as well, Russell Wendell. Feel free to follow me there. And yes, I'm looking forward to just a terrific rest of 2023. And 2024 is going to be off the chain. I can already tell.
Okay.
And it's going to be good.
All right. There it is. There it is, man. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. Way to bring it home, Russell. Way to go. Well, look, Russell, I'm gonna wrap us up, man. Again, thank you for being on the podcast, man. I appreciate you so much, man. I would just tell anybody who doesn't know Russell, he's an absolutely great person to know. Would literally give you the shirt off his back, I feel like, man. So great guy, does a great job at everything that he does. So if you're obviously looking for like a planner or you want to have a conversation, he's definitely someone who should be on your list. So that's going to be it for us for today. Again, I'm Toryn with Exquisite Sounds Entertainment. It's been the Exquisite Sounds Podcast. We're going to wrap it up. Of course, everybody knows you can find us everywhere at Exquisite Sounds ENT, everywhere. And of course, if you're looking for me personally, I'm at DJ Toryn L. And that's it. We'll holler at y'all and we'll talk to you.